Hello, this is Mark Mitchell, and I'm recording a video today on navigating the Sociology 210, the Introduction to Sociology course for Johnston Community College during the fall 2020 semester. And just want to kind of show you where to find things, and then I'm sure you'll be able to find what you need quickly. But if you ever need help, then you can reference this video, or you can email me. I'll have my contact information on the screen in just a little bit. Okay, but I hope you're doing well. We certainly have had some trying times here the last few months and probably through this semester too. So I'm glad that you're taking the course, and I want to help you as much as I can, and I hope you enjoy it. There's lots of interesting things to consider here in the course. Now, I have already logged on, and so I'm in an online section, so there just a few little differences between an online section and a traditional section, or maybe a little bit of a hybrid. But I'll try to mention some of those as we go along. But first of all, again, I've logged in, and we come to the first tab, Weekly Lessons. Now, this is the tab that you will use the most. So if you're first logging in for the first day, you want to click on the Getting Started. And I'll just briefly go there, but just has some information. Our syllabus is one of the things you can find here. There's a link. It'll be live in another part of the course, but you can click here if you want to. And then this video will be right here, linked to this section right here. But the more you use the course, I think you won't need it. But here's our textbook information. When you register for the class, you have paid for an electronic version, so there's nothing else to buy. If you want a paper copy of the book, you can pay an additional fee, and that will be mailed to your home if you would like that. That's optional. You don't need that for class, but you do need the software. And you can opt out if you want that money back that you paid for registering for the class. For the e-text, you can. That is, in my opinion, a very bad idea, because then you'll have to find another way to submit your assignments. And when you pay that fee, you're paying for the software that does that basically automatically. So if you are interested in getting your money back, now it will take about 6 weeks, and there's a form that needs to be filled out. But you have to decide within the first 3 days of the class. So when the class starts, that's considered day 1. And then after 3 days, you cannot opt out. So again, if you think you want to do that, just email me, and I'll get you the form. We can get started. But then that's a very bad idea, I think. But you'll have to make your own decision. Okay, so a little bit about sociology and what it is. So we're going to be looking at human behavior from the perspective of groups. And then, again, your assignments. Remember I mentioned about the textbook. Well, we're in the tab where you need to be, where you find all your assignments. Okay, and so you can be successful in the course. And I've just listed some things that I have noticed from students over many semesters, and it just takes diligent, consistent work to be able to do well. So I've just listed some of those things here. The opt-out form, I will make sure that I have a form for the current semester there, but that's the document that you need to fill out and send back to me, and then I'll pass on to the next step so we can get that going. My name is Mark Mitchell. My email address is lmmitchell@johnstoncc.edu. That's my JCC campus phone number. And this is my office here, our on campus as well, if you're there and can stop by and, when things get back to normal. The best way to contact me, of course, is the email. That'll get to me the fastest, but you're welcome to use any of those methods you like. Okay, so let's back up just a second here, and we're still under that Weekly Lessons tab. And now let's look under the assignments. That's where you will be clicking just about all, majority of your time. So the way I have broken up the course is we have 16 chapters in the book that we're going to cover, and so each chapter is basically a week. So I have listed the dates, and I think if you observe these dates, then you are pacing out your work over the course of a semester. And that shouldn't be nearly as stressful as if you don't have a method to do that. Okay, so you basically know where we are either by the date or by the chapter, either way. So let's just click in chapter 1. And this is the pattern that's laid out. So every chapter, there's an introduction, And then there are several tasks. And so some of them are recommended and optional, such as reading. And then some of these are required that count towards your grade. So the Chapter 1 Learn Smart counts towards your grade. It is required. The Chapter 1 Review is required and counts towards your final grade. Your core concept video is required and counts towards your final grade. Same thing for the discussion board. If you're in an online class, that applies to you. If you're in a traditional class, you will have somewhat of a different assignment, but similar to a discussion board and any other variety of class that we have. It'll be maybe just a little bit different. And then I have lots of study options, resources such as PowerPoints, chapter notes. I've got a video, and I just mentioned some of the things in the chapter that I would have covered in class or things that I find interesting. And then just extra, if you need some more stuff, video and media resources are there too. So those are all kind of things that you'll see in every chapter. So the learning objectives is what you should know. Now, you do not need to write up answers to these questions, but it's a mental check. After you've gone through the chapter, for example, you should know or have a good definition of sociology and know what the sociological perspective is. Okay? I would always read. Now, I've had students tell me a variety of things about how they prepare, and so that's why I'm giving you so many resources to use, and you can find out which one or ones work for you and which ones do not. So this is just a brief summary of the chapter. It does not substitute for reading, but the main sections are here listed, and of course that's how the online text is divided up too. And then just of the maybe 30 or so pages in chapter 1, they've reduced it down here to about 6 statements. Okay, so for those of you who like PowerPoint slides, click here and find them. If you like notes on the chapter and want a kind of more in-depth summary, then click here. Just look at them before you print them. Some of them can be rather lengthy. The videos, if maybe you were in a traditional class or missed class, this would be a way as if you did not, saw the same things or hear the same things that if you had been present. Just extra things, if you can't get enough of the chapter, if that wasn't enough, here's some more. Writing assignments, really there's only 1 week where we have a writing assignment, and that's our paper. We'll get to that a little bit later. This is the link to your Learn Smart. This just describes, hey, you have 3 McGraw-Hill Connect assignments. I know many of you are very proficient in the Connect, McGraw-Hill Connect software. That's what we'll be using. That's part of what you're paying for when you register for the class. But the Learn Smart, once you click here, your Learn Smart, now that's the longest assignment. The chapter review is a little bit shorter, and then the concept clip is even a little bit shorter than that. But those 3 assignments, every chapter we cover, those are due. They all count towards your final grade. So make sure you do those. They should be reinforcing the concepts that are in the book and help you for your quiz and exam as well. The more you prepare yourself, the better off you're going to do on those assignments. The discussion board, this is definitely for the online, and then as I mentioned earlier, if you're in another section, it'll just take a variant form. It'll change a little bit, but the same basic content. Here it's either a video to watch or an article, mostly articles, but you will read it, and that's the link here. And then when you're ready to post your discussion board content, you can click here. Or you can, there's several ways to access it. I think this is the easiest. If you have a little trouble getting started with your post, then here's a video on the discussion board, and you can use that. And then I also have a rubric on how I grade you. And also in the discussion board, there is some more information about what to put in your post. So the main thing is from your article that you're reading for your discussion board is you need to tell me specific facts from the article that you found interesting, that you liked, disliked, agreed, or disagreed. And then you need to put your personal opinion in there. Okay, so using quotes is fine, but make sure you set those off as direct quotes and where you got it from the article. I will send these through a plagiarism engine. And so I'm really interested in what you think about the article says. About half should be, things or facts from the article, and then half should be your opinion. Okay, so now this last thing is really just for study methods. I've had some students who had told me some of the ways they had studied, so I have put our chapter vocabulary into this Quizlet game. Now this does not count for a grade as it mentions up here, but you can do all types of things, and maybe that will help you study for some of the quizzes or the exams. Vocabulary is very important for us. Okay, so each of the 16 chapters will be very similar as to the one we've just gone over. And let me show you a few other things of our assignments. Okay, so I mentioned that we have a paper. Our paper is due Sunday night by 11:59 p.m. October the 4th. And so under the paper examples, you'll find number 1, your rubric. So your paper definitely needs 1 through 5. And then if you include 6, that's fine. That's optional. I've got some examples of papers that these students had definitely covered 1 through 5 and sometimes 6 too. And so they earned an excellent grade. You really don't have to pay attention to these last 2. They're not for us, but I just put them up there. Okay, so now make sure you turn your paper in. You can do that early. It is open. It is ready to be submitted, and I will show you where to find it and where to submit it, and the topics on the paper. So if we actually scroll down here to Chapter 8, there's a reminder, and there's a link to the contents of the paper and what you should do, a little more in depth than what I've done. But this is the only time you'll click on the Writing Assignments folder. Now notice I've just kind of put some reminders to let you know, hey, you're in the right area. But here's a link to the video. This is one, that's the second skin. And then the other is right here about Back from Madness. Now, just a fair warning, if you select the Back from Madness, it is about mental illness, and they do show some surgical things. Now, they're not in depth, but that may be content that some people don't want to see. So if you don't like that or the sound of it, then maybe that's not the video you should watch, and you should try a second skin. So I may update and put some more video options up there. It's just kind of sometimes difficult to find really good, well done videos that are appropriate in all kinds of ways, and these are pretty good, but they still have a few little issues that I just wanted to make sure you were aware of before you started watching. The second skin does not have anything graphic. There may be some instances of language in there. Okay, so now let me click back, but that's the paper. Now the quizzes and exams are the things that count, the assignments rather, that count the most in our class. So if you want an idea of what to expect, there are multiple choice items. The quizzes are shorter and count less. The exams are longer and count more, but the video kind of goes through that. I've got the dates listed for our quizzes. So for quizzes, they open in exams too, but for about 3 days. You will go to the announcements page and then find a password and then take your quiz or exam. So you'll take the quiz first and then you'll take the exam. Alright, so I do not reset the quizzes or the exams unless there's something wrong on my end, and I can definitely see that. But if students forget or what have you, then there are no makeups. Okay, so they definitely count a great deal towards your final course grade. Okay, so if there's any changes or problems, I'll announce that under the announcements page, and just make sure you know the date. So I'm going to go ahead and write these down and maybe put them somewhere near your computer, and I'm sure you're taking other classes, and just make sure you don't miss those dates. Okay, so that's all really in the Getting Started tab. I failed to mention earlier, there's a link here about the enrollment verification, but if you will complete that by August the 20th, and then there's a Connect orientation that's a real short exercise on using the Connect software. So if you'll click those links, it'll take you to where you can start those assignments too. All right, very, very small part towards your overall grade. All right, I mentioned the announcements. There's nothing here now, but that's as we go along in the course. If there needs to be an announcement or things like that, I'll post them there and for any information that you may need. The course information, that's just a little bit about me. I'll put a little bit about my background there, and of course where I am on campus, and or at least we're going to probably start out a little strange and maybe another weird semester. The syllabus also lives here, so just look at that, make sure you're aware, and if there's any questions, please ask and let me know, and I'll try to clarify. And just some of the general policies, you can read these for yourself, and they're just standard kind of things all your classes run by. All right, so my door schedule, I've listed that here as well. So if you are on campus, you're more than welcome to stop by and talk to me. And if I can help you, of course, that's what I want to do. All right, so the e-text, that's what our hard copy of the text looks like. It's a pretty good text. I've been using it for at least 2 or 3 years now. At any rate, we are in e-text, mentioned that, and this form, I'll make sure I have the most recent up-to-date form as soon as I get that. Okay, so you do not need to fill out the student acknowledgement form. If you fill out the student enrollment quiz, you can do that instead. If you ever have any trouble with LearnSmart, use this link, and you can either talk on the phone or video or type chat, and they'll help you. I really don't have much control over the Connect software, so if it escalates to a certain point, then the technical support site would be the way to go to get your problems fixed. I've used it, and it works pretty well. All right, so this is the other way to access the discussion board, and so you can introduce yourself here. I'd like you to do that. Tell me something about yourself like I did, and I will update this date here. And then for students, if you just want to talk with each other, you can. Or if you're having technical issues, again, a little forum, you can do that as much or as little as you need to. And then for your discussion board rubric, there's an example of an article and a response that I get to read from a student, but you'll be submitting those, and again, I'm grading it according to the rubric. So your first one that is due is right down here, discussion week form 1 and chapter 1, and they are open for a week. So you have to post to the forum in order to get credit. If you do not post to the forum, I do not accept emails, but it's just like a missed quiz or exam. You don't get a grade for it, and you can't make it up. All right, so we have a semester worth of those. For articles, you need at least 300-word response, and for a video, there's fewer videos than articles. You need a 500-word response in your discussion board. Okay, so now the other item we want to look at under collaboration is our Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. So that's something new that's been offered this semester in all the classes, but that's a way that the class can meet remotely at one time if it was scheduled up. So we'll just have to watch the semester and see what happens, and if we need to use that, fine. If I don't, it did seem we operated okay last semester, but we'll just see that's an additional tool that should be in all your classes regardless of how they meet. Your tools area. Now when I logged in, I actually like using the this tool section to do that, but you can use all kinds of things here that are available. I don't know how many of these you use and how many you don't, but really for class, probably not a whole lot, but that's available if you need it. So looks like, again, there's a little bit of change here. There used to be another square here that you could click on, and that was the back way into this Connect software that we'll be using for the class. Okay. My grades, it's very important to keep an eye on your grade. So for us, the current grade is the column you want to always keep an eye on. And just make sure that you've completed all your assignments. We have looks like a long list here, but that covers everything for the semester. So if you have a question about your grades, please contact me and I'll look into it. I don't think you're going to need the purchase course materials from Barnes and Noble link, but if you do for another class or what have you, it's there. Let's see, let's close that down and go back here, and we'll go to the next link. Okay, let's see, hang on just a second, sorry about that. So that's where I clicked on. Okay, so Blackboard, if you need some help, you can search here. You can email Jolt for some help if there's some other technical difficulties, and they'll be happy to assist you. Here's, of course, your email tab that you're aware of, so you can check that anytime you want. And then later on, at some point, the course evaluations, where JCC asks for feedback on your experience in different classes and your improvements or suggestions or complaints or what have you. That's important to let the college know. So thank you for your time today. I hope this has helped. I think once you'll get into a habit of looking for what you need, it won't be any problem at all to navigate the course. And I recognize there's some differences from instructor to instructor and course to course. I hope you have a great semester. I'm here to help you as much as I can. So please let me know if there's anything that I can do. Thank you very much.